Welcome, everybody. We're so happy to have you join us here tonight for our business meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 21st. Did I get that right? I did. Today's Tuesday, March 21st, and it is 7:03 p.m. We are convened as the Provo City School District Board of Education, and we're meeting at 280 West 940 North in Provo, Utah. We'll begin with a roll call, and we'll start down here with our business administrator.
Derek Anderson, Business Administrator.
Lisa Boyce, Board Member.
Terry McCabe, Board Member.
Jennifer Partridge, Vice President.
Rebecca Nielsen, Board President.
Keith Rogel, Superintendent.
Meg Van Wagenen, Board Member.
Gina Hales, Board Member.
Melanie Hall, Board Member.
Thank you so much, and I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to convene.
I move we convene the business meeting.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Hales. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Partridge. We're now in our business meeting. We'll begin tonight with some opening remarks given to us by Board Member Melanie Hall.
Well, I just first wanted to say welcome spring, we hope. There's snow in the forecast, so I know it's a four-letter word. I'm kind of done with winter, but anyway, I wanted to say thank you all for being here. If you wouldn't mind joining me in a word of prayer. Our dear, kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for the opportunity to meet here to discuss the needs of our children in our district. We ask you to please bless us with the inspiration needed to make the right choices for these students, and we're grateful for all the many blessings that thou hast given to us, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Melanie. We'll now have our Pledge of Allegiance by Sunset View student Adia Cardona Bonilla and Elian Cardona Bonilla from 3rd grade and 6th grade. Are they here with us? Awesome.
Please rise. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much to our Sunset View students who joined us tonight. That was a treat to have you with us. All right. We get to move on to our community connection section of our meeting tonight, and we'll start with our employee recognition, which is our Provo Way Awards, and we'll hear from Jason Cox, who's not here. So just kidding. We're going to hear from Caleb Price instead.
Okay, we're excited to recognize we have 6 Provo Way Award winners this month. I see a bunch of them here, so as I say your names, if you're here, stand up. We'll let everybody give you a round of applause, and then we'll have a quick video afterwards. And then following the video, we'll invite you to come up and go along the front and shake the board members' hands after that video. So our Provo Way Award recipients this month are Camille Christiansen, Janilda Lima, Raquel Macias del Valle, Teresa Tolotau, Andrea Crespo, and Michelle Hardy.
It takes a village to raise kids, and especially in education. And having Mrs. Christiansen as my partner this year has been like a blessing. I never saw someone that is so good with phonics in my entire life. Actually, I'm reading better in English because of Mrs. Christiansen. And because of her, actually, that inspired me to also help with the Portuguese phonics. And every time that one of you guys read more, she gets so excited. She comes to my classroom, and I can't believe that she has just 2 years as a teacher, because it looks like she's a veteran. And like Professor Emma always says, I love her more than chocolate. ProLima, it's my support. And to be working like in with 56 students and seeing her work and dedication. Every morning she prepares phonics book with like all the props and everything for them. It's amazing. I do love her more than chocolate.
Andrea is an incredible teacher. She is constantly putting so much energy into helping her students, and they can tell that she's confident in them. Because she believes so strongly in each of them, I've seen so many kids grow personally and academically. I'm constantly amazed at the growth that students achieve in her class.
Every day, Michelle makes sure that each bus route is filled and that every field trip is covered. That involves a lot of scrambling and last-minute problem solving in order to make sure that the students across the district are able to make it to school safely and on time. Much of her stress is behind the scenes, and no one really knows how much work it is to coordinate and find available drivers, not only in general, but on short notice as well.
We nominated Raquel for this award because she really magnifies her role. She works with our ML students here. She has a degree in linguistics and she knows multiple languages herself, so she can really relate to the kids and understand what they're going through as they're trying to learn a new language. She is super passionate about what she does. She's even working on doing training with some of our faculty members. She goes into their classrooms to help during push-ins, she helps with pull-outs, and she's even started a parent class here where parents can come in and learn some English too. So we're really grateful for Raquel. She's amazing.
Mrs. T, you guys know, right? She is an incredible teacher for so many reasons. One of the things I love about Mrs. T is she is such a curious learner. Like, she loves to learn for herself and learn what's best for you guys. And then she shares it with everybody in the school. Have you guys seen how many teachers come in here and ask Mrs. T for help with things? It's because she always has the answer to help us, to help kids read, with math, with writing. It's amazing. And not only that, but she helps in every way in our school. She was a crossing guard last year. She helps on district committees.
Invite those of you that are here to come up and be recognized by the board up front.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Congratulations. So much. Thank you so much.
Good job.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Congratulations again to our Provo Way Award winners this month. We are so grateful for all of the wonderful people we have in this district who do so many good things for our students every day. So thank you again and congratulations. Before we move to our school report, I just want to give a quick bit of information. We'll be doing public input after we hear from Principal Chilcote. And so if you are here to give public input to the board tonight, there's a form over here on this little table over to my right and your left that you will need to fill out and hand to Bonnie Totkus, right here, our secretary, ahead of time. So if you're interested in doing that, I just wanted to make sure you're aware of that beforehand. But okay, now we will go ahead and hear a school report on Sunset View from Principal Chris Chilcote.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here to represent the amazing school of Sunset View. This is my 7th year as principal at Sunset View and my 23rd year in Provo School District. And I was thinking on the way over, I have my oldest daughter is a 7th, 8th grade teacher at Dixon Middle School. I have a daughter who's doing her internship at Canyon Crest in 5th grade. and I have a sister who teaches music at Provo Peaks. And so I love this district. It's amazing, and I love this school. And when I start a presentation to parents, or every day, every Monday, we do video announcements, we start with our vision statement. And this is the foundation of what we believe in at Sunset View. The vision of Sunset View is to partner with families in creating an environment where students experience success and take ownership of their learning. And there's so many key points to this. First of all, we have to have a community with parents. They know their child better than others, and we need to communicate and work with them as partners. We want students to experience success, and not just sometimes in academics. Sometimes we have students that struggle in academics. We have to find other ways for them to feel successful. And that's really critical at Sunset View. And then that ownership piece. We want students to own their learning. We want to create a foundation. One of the benefits that I have is I've been in all levels of education. I started in middle school. I was at the high school. I was at the alternative high school. And now I'm in an elementary. And I know how important it is to create a foundation. And it's important that our students take that ownership. And so our core values have been around. We talk about these every single day. It's SOAR. We're the dragons, and so we soar. And we show respect, we own our learning, we act responsibly, and we reflect safety. And those are some of my sixth graders right now, so they're even smiling and happy. These are our enrollment numbers. We're at 588. That's actually from 5 o'clock today. We are still recovering from COVID. We were at 615 the year that we shut down. By the way, today is the anniversary, 3 years from today that we closed schools. How things have changed. I remember as a principal in front of my whole staff telling our teachers that we were going to online learning and how we had to pivot and change everything that we were doing. It's amazing. But our numbers still haven't recovered yet. We're at 588. We're fighting homeschooling. We're fighting charter schools, something that we're working hard to promote what we're doing at Sunset View. Here's our demographics. We're a diverse school. We embrace our diversity. It's really important to us. And our students are able to interact with other students of different cultures, and it's really important. 29% of our students are English language learners. And it's really interesting. I was looking at the data today, and it's funny how we have so many new to the country students come after Christmas. And so we're always having to adjust and change what we're doing with some of our students that are learning English for the first time. This data is interesting. I sent a survey out to my teachers about a month and a half ago, just looking at how long they've been in education and how long they've been at Sunset View. And you can see that 40% of our teachers are new to Sunset View in the first 2 years, but only 22% are actually new as educators right now. We have a diverse group of teachers. Unfortunately, we're losing probably one of the best teachers I've ever worked with is retiring this year, Mrs. Metz. Amazing teacher, and we're going to miss her greatly at Sunset View. But we have an amazing staff. You can see we have 45 support staff. I have an amazing Title I coordinator and facilitator who make me look good. And I love both of them dearly, and just incredible staff. Some of our data, this is actually real data. This is our middle of the year benchmark for reading. Some of the strengths, our kindergarten just amazingly, 77% of our students are on grade level in kindergarten right now. 82% of our sixth graders, and this has been a trend at Sunset View where we start high and we drop and then we come back up, and you can see that with our students that are below benchmark and well below benchmark. So we're still trying to figure that out. That's one of the challenges that we have, and we'll talk about that. One of the things we stress though at Sunset View is growth, student growth. And we have a goal of 70% of our students will make a typical or above growth on our Acadians benchmark. And we had 73% of our students make typical or above growth. And we want that to happen again at the end of the school year as well. And we believe that that's going to happen with some of the things that we put in place. This is last year's RISE data. We went up in every single category. We were 3.3% higher in language arts. Our biggest growth was math. 17.2% of our students passed the math test, or 54%, which was up 17.2%. And then our science scores went up 11%, almost 12. So that's pretty exciting data. This is our school report card. I think this is the last year for report cards, if I'm not mistaken. Hallelujah. Just for grades, whatever. The report card, but no grades. But we were a B school last year. Our biggest growth actually was in growth. Our points were scored 35 points came from our growth, which was amazing. We really focused on our Tier 2 interventions and actually our Tier 1 instruction as well. So some of our challenges. We are a TSI school right now in 2 areas, our English language learners and also our special education. But we're working towards rectifying that and making sure that our English language learners are making adequate progress. And so this year we applied for a grant, and with that grant we started an after-school program with our ELL students, some of our younger age students, and really pre-teaching vocabulary, and that's ran by Mr. Vandermark. And we've got 4 of our teachers that run that, and we're seeing amazing success with that. Also, we spend a lot of time on professional development with our English language learners. We're doing walkthroughs with our teachers. They're visiting other classrooms and watching their friends and their compatriots learning different strategies to teach our English language learners. Our first grade reading growth, that's something that we're really working on. We've changed our Tier 2 interventions, really allowing our teachers to working with our most at-risk kids. When I came to Sunset View 7 years ago, all Tier 2 interventions were given to our paraprofessionals, which were working with our most at-risk kids. And so we've worked a way in our schedule to really have our teachers with our most at-risk kids, focusing on their needs when it comes to both reading and math. And then one of the struggles we have right now is with 2 new programs with 95% core with our younger grades and with Wonders, meshing those together, bringing them together and really focusing on standards and really identifying where those standards lay within that curriculum. And so we've been spending a lot of time with our grade level PLCs, and we're going to be doing some professional development this summer. I've been able to find money with our 060, our general account, to be able to provide finances necessary for our teachers to collaborate and really do some really deep dive into 95% core and Wonders and pulling out those standards. So that's really something that we're focusing on, and something that I wanted to do right when COVID hit, and it's just been a whirlwind trying to get to this point, but we're there now and we're ready to do that work. Some of the things that I just want to celebrate is my staff. I love my teachers, my staff at my school, my lunch ladies, my custodians, my front office workers. They are amazing, and I've had a chance to hire almost all of my staff in the last 7 years. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I've got an incredible staff. An amazing community, our PTA, our school community council. We have an amazing parent engagement, and we have an activity that we run. We used to call it, we call it Social Studies Extravaganza, and we'll have almost 1,500 parents and students at that event and at the end of the school year. And just of our volunteers, it's finally coming back. We had such a rich amount of volunteers in our school before COVID, and they're coming back. We're getting people in our buildings supporting their children. It's really fun to see. And then our CAS program, actually I skipped one. Our partnership with Boys and Girls Club is amazing. So the last 4 years, we partnered with Boys and Girls Club. We've got an amazing coordinator this year who runs an after-school program that serves about 55 students. We also provide meals for students every single day. So we provide meals for students that need them, and it's a great partnership. Our CAS program, our Center for Accelerated Studies, is top-notch. I got 3 amazing teachers in that program and amazing children, and we integrate them within our groups through science. So our science classes are mixed with our general ed population and our CAS program, and I think that's one of the reasons why our science numbers have gone up, and it's amazing. Our Title I program, which ran by Mr. Vandermark, and our Tier 2 interventions, he's an amazing educator, and I'm lucky to have him on my staff. Our partnership with BYU, servicing our new teachers, is phenomenal, and again, that's ran by my facilitator, Mrs. Parker, who is also our director of our STEM fair. We had 10 of our students participate in our regional STEM fair today. We had a grand champion from Sunset View, a second place finisher, and 2 third place finishers today. That happened today, and so I'm really proud of our students and their performance at that. What questions do you have for us? There's some pictures of my amazing staff and students.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Any questions from the board members?
So I noticed you have CAS
Yes.
at your facility. Are they integrated into the rest of the school, or do they seem kind of separate? Like in my imagination, they're like in a portable outside.
Ideas in that program. She just left. It looks like they left, but we've really worked hard to integrate them within the school. They share the same lunch together. With science, they mix. So we take the students, we mix them together, and then they rotate within teachers. So all the teachers actually teach the CAS students. So all my fourth grade teachers teach CAS, all my fifth grade teachers teach CAS students, all my sixth grade teachers teach CAS, and they have those students intermingled with our general ed population. Do field trips together. Yeah, everything's that's together.
Fantastic. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I've got a question and a comment.
Okay.
So I'll start with my comment first. I have a friend in my neighborhood who choiced into your school and just has commented to me multiple times about how the feeling in the school is super organized and happy, and she could not be more thrilled with that. So
Thank you.
there's a compliment / comment for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, because I know she's just so happy there. Second thing is I just have a quick question. You said that last year you had 73% make typical growth. Your goal was 70, and you
Yeah.
feel like you're going to do it again this year, and you have things in place.
Yes.
What are those things?
So I think our PLCs are super strong. We're identifying using data to guide what we're doing in our Tier 1 and our Tier 2 instruction, and that's critical. Every 6 weeks we look at the data, we're regrouping for our Tier 2 interventions, we're identifying standards and the needs of each one of the students. So I think that's really what's doing that.
Okay. Awesome.
You asked my same question.
Sorry, it'd be
Because
easier.
my question was, in comment was, 17% growth in math. I'm a former math teacher. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. So I was just going to ask like what things you were doing, but you just kind of
Yeah,
answered
it's
that.
really PLC. It's just really identifying the standards. Critical, so critical. And we have a new math program. It's the second year that we've used it, and it's really challenging our teachers and our students. And that bar of expectation is really high. And I think we saw that, especially within our fourth grade. Our fourth grade killed it. I mean, it was like 65% of our students in fourth grade passed the RISE test, which was amazing. So, unbelievable.
Jennifer?
So you mentioned, and I echo all the good things too.
Thank
so.
you.
You mentioned that you're in school improvement for English language learners and SPED.
Yeah.
Can you speak to what you're doing to address the SPED?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it comes down to, again, identifying the needs of each student individually. And it's getting them into the right placement. We've really spent a lot of time making sure our students are receiving good Tier 1 instruction. That means that our special ed students are with the general ed population. They're not being pulled out. They're with their peers. And I think we're very intentional about that. And then being able to pull them during their Tier 2 and meet their specific needs. So, because every student is different, right? And we've got to be able to identify those needs, and that's what we're doing. We're doing a better job with that. We're also working on our scheduling so that we have students that have similar needs in different grade levels. So if we have students that are on the same reading level, same math level, that we're able to do some small group instruction, really support them. Another thing that we're doing is we're doing some peer coaching and peer teaching. With 95% core, we're seeing some of our students that lack the phonics instruction. So we're actually having students from 5th grade, 4th grade are going into some of the younger grades and receiving instruction from our 1st and 2nd grade teachers during Tier 1 for the younger grades. And so they're receiving that phonics instruction to help, build their reading capacity. So.
Sounds like you have some really good system, like what you were saying about organized.
Systems and organizations, yeah.
Very, very organized.
They're really organized. They keep me organized, Mr. Vandemark. This is Parker.
Great.
So,
Chris,
thank you.
what year is this for you at Sunset View?
7. It's year 7. So I started when Sunset View became a new building. That's when I took over, and I came from the secondary realm. So it's been a great learning curve. I've had some great mentors.
It also shows the importance of stability in the principalship. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate that.
I just wanted to say thank you for all the years you've been in Provo School District. I mean, I'm going to guess you know more than almost anyone in the district if you've been here that long.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm just so grateful on behalf of the students and the teachers and people who get to work with you that you have stayed to invest in our district in the way that you have, and that sounds like your whole family does. I just so grateful. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I have, both my parents are educators, and they definitely were my mentors. So thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, speaking of your parents, your dad was one of my professors, one of my education professors at BYU, and I have great memories from his classes. So
He was quite the character. So thank you guys. Thank you so much.
thank you. Okay. We'll now move to our public input portion of our meeting. Do we have any forms? Okay. And if anybody else still would like the chance, you're still free to go ahead and fill out a form if you'd like to go ahead and address the board today. Okay. I have Adam, I'm going to say Dines. I hope it's Dines. Did I get it right? All right. Adam, you have, let me just give you a quick, we just need you to state your name and the elementary school area you come from, and then you'll have 3 minutes to address the board.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, my name's Adam Dines. I'm in the Wasatch Elementary neighborhood. Yeah, I just wanted to express some concerns I had about the Chromebook policy and how it's carried out in schools and practice. I have kids in high school and the middle school in particular where they have Chromebooks in the classroom as part of instruction. And the concern we have, and I know many parents that I'm familiar with also share this concern, is how the Chromebook is monitored, or the lack of monitoring in the classroom, such that this is the case like in my parent-teacher conferences. Regularly the teachers will say, well, your son he's often on the Chromebook when he's not supposed to be. And I always tell them, well, tell him to not be on it. Like that, we don't want him doing that. And we try to discuss this with our son, but it's really challenging to monitor because I'm not in the classroom and I didn't give him access to this Chromebook that he has in the class. And so not only that is it that it's a distraction for his learning, and I worry that he's not paying attention, that he's often trying to, whatever websites or even video games he can find online that he's doing in class. But also what happens as well is that even when he's on task and has time to complete assignments, he's not putting a lot of, I think, attention to those assignments because he wants to finish them so he can get back to his Chromebook, which is a lot more exciting than working on an assignment or being bored staring at the wall. And so thus he finishes assignments sometimes too quickly, or is not getting them done. We even had someone from BYU speech therapy go into the classroom as part of just kind of an anonymous visit for diagnosis purposes. And so they were in a couple of classrooms with our son, and her observation was that many students, she was in the back of the classroom, so you can see many students were often off task and were very good at toggling between different windows when the teacher walked by to make it seem as if they were on task, making it challenging to monitor it as well. And so kind of my view, my concern is that it's kind of like putting a person who has an alcoholic who has an alcohol problem in a bar and not expecting them to drink. And here we're handing students an entertainment system, a video game system, and it's not a surprise, at least to me, that at least my sons, and I think many kids, are then using it to play video games and browse the internet. And so anyways, I just wish there was more that was, anyways, I just wanted to express this really big concern, and it's a big enough concern that we're likely going to send our kids to, or at least our two oldest, to a charter school because of this problem, and it's really hard for us to monitor as parents. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adam. Okay, we'll now hear from Jared Curtis.
Hello, Jared Curtis, Timpanogos neighborhood. I agree. Get rid of the Chromebooks. They're just more trouble than they're worth. I came to talk a little bit about last month there was a social media post from a big person in social media. I don't follow them or anything, but it was about one of our schools. And it was about a school that one of my girls goes to. And it was about one of her teachers. And so I went and talked to the principal. I had already known stuff that happened before the social media post. You know, the principal gave me the typical information I was expecting. Some of it good, some of it, he's just, you know, can say what he can say. But something that he said was, we're really concerned that this information might get out of what school it is, who we are, what we're doing. We don't want that out because it's dangerous. And I get that. And then I talk to my daughter. I talk to her every day, almost every day, every time we have a meal at the table about this particular class because of the particular reason it went viral. And the only thing that came up in the class, there was two things, but one of them was, hey, make sure nobody knows that what school this is happening in. Almost like, let's hide it from the parents, from the community, from the crazies on the internet. I get that. But it was concerning that was the only thing that both the teacher involved, or the classroom involved, and the principal had was, we got to make sure that people don't know what we're doing. I know that they would frame it in a different way, but that's basically what it was. So instead of, and the behavior changed a little bit, but not to the point where if they know that the behavior could potentially be a risk for the students, but then they still do it, just try to hide it better, that's a concern to me, instead of, oh, maybe change the behavior instead of hiding it. So I don't know if any of you know, but what the social media post was about, but you can ask me later, ask her after this. But so that was a concern I had. I only have 20 more seconds, but I listened to last month's meeting, and it talked about giving students positions on the board. I wasn't sure how that was. The main concern I would have with that, it seems like it cheapens my vote. I don't know how the voting, I guess I don't know the details of it, but my vote is, I consider it something precious, and I don't want to cheapen my vote. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jared. Okay, is there anyone else who would like to address the board? No more forms? Okay. Thank you so much. Before we move on to our business items, we're actually going to backtrack to 2 items in our study session that we just need to finish up. We did start discussing our consent calendar, and I promised the board I would go back to that discussion. So right when I cut us off, I believe, Meg, you had something you wanted to say, and we can go ahead. Do you remember? We can go ahead and move back to that discussion. And let me just give some quick context. We were discussing Terry's question about changing the reports that we get on a monthly basis as a board, and the reports that are included in our consent calendar.
Yeah, so I think because when we were talking about having it in a different format, just to kind of give us a better picture of where we're at when we're looking at this executive summary, I was just kind of piggyback on what I think Lisa was asking is, I think just so we, instead of assuming that, okay, we're not quite clear how much more is still going to need to be spent, but we know by the end of the year the budget's going to be okay. And I was just going to say, I feel like I can see why it makes sense to have a general idea when we're reviewing it, if we're on track, as opposed to just hoping. And I know it's more than hoping, because we trust you, Derek. That's what I think, Lisa, you're getting at. I just want to kind of speak to that.
Yep, and we can change anything with the reports, and that's what I want to know, that we're express that we are happy to change anything, we're willing to change anything, but you know, let's make it sure that what it is that you're getting is meaningful to the board and is something that my department and we can build out to where it's not labor intensive every single month, right?
Yeah.
And so I absolutely fully agree, and I guess my ask would be is, because of the conversation that has been taking place, starting next month, can we remove the executive piece and start having conversations about what a helpful executive piece would look like?
So that was going to be, I feel like we need to kind of make a next step on this, which is make another project for the board Yay. And so, I mean, could we put together, perhaps, should I say this swear word, a committee that that would help you understand, we can gather input from the board and help you understand what it is exactly we're looking for?
And to me, the finance committee that we've talked about is the
Okay.
perfect place for that.
Okay, so who's currently on the finance committee?
I think I am. Is it called the audit committee? No, it's it's the finance and data committee.
Oh. Lisa and Melanie?
I think that's
It would be
Terry,
I
think I'm Lisa, and I.
Okay. Okay. So Lisa and Terry and Melanie, you feel okay accepting the assignment to get started on a process to gather input from the board, what we're looking for, to put together a summary and get together with Derek and help him understand so he can start to understand what he needs to build out. But I do have a comment. Do we want to eliminate the executive summary in the meantime? Because I don't find it completely useless.
We can leave it because right now to generate that report, it's fairly automated, and so we can leave it until we have the new one up and running too, like, whatever the preference is.
I see
I
value in
prefer
having,
keeping it.
yeah,
Just
something
because
in the
it's at
meantime.
least something that I can see year to date, and here's our expected budget. Like, I have at least some gauge.
Right.
So-
I think it's valuable to keep in the meantime. That personally, I feel that way. Is everybody okay with keeping that in the meantime?
Yes,
Okay.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. All right. Feel free to make a Google Space and follow the routine we've been following on our committees. So okay. Does everybody feel okay with that? Okay. Terry, I know you said you had another question about the consent calendar.
Yes. Oh wait. Let me find my spot again. On the warrant summary. Got it? Warrant summary, page 2. Yeah. Is this payment to Hogan Construction separate from the large purchase request to Hogan?
Yes, because this one is essentially the payment that we do monthly for the project,
regular-
right? Just the draw schedule. What was submitted is essentially saying, hey, this is gonna increase the cost of the project, but we're having it as part of that, essentially the contingency that's there. It has been part of the baked-in project. It just needed to be finalized and approved for that one section.
So the large purchase request is a one-time,
Correct.
okay. All right, that's all my questions.
Okay. Thank you. Any further questions on the consent calendar? Okay, great. Then let's go ahead and just go over real quickly the upcoming calendar, Google Calendar items. It's actually quite full. So let's just go over that real quick. We actually have 2 things coming up tomorrow. Let me get this up on my computer. We have the PTA Founders Luncheon. It's listed here from 10:30 to 1:30. Are we supposed to go to a
It's
specific
noon.
time? Noon.
And that's just
Okay.
the time the room's scheduled for.
Okay, so noon here. Is it in the PDC, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, noon here tomorrow for the PTA Founders Luncheon. We also have a legislative review tomorrow night from 6 to 8 p.m. also here in this room.
That one's 7:30 to 9.
7:30 to 9. Okay, I'm just reading off this list, so thank you for correcting me.
Sorry, I didn't catch that sooner to.
No, that's okay.
Have it
7:30 to 9. So we'll be in this room again a lot of hours tomorrow. We have our Easter basket auction on Thursday, March 27th. And if anyone from the public is interested,
It's a Monday.
Yeah, it's a Monday night, sorry. The date is
Monday,
correct.
okay.
It's just
And the time is correct, 6.
that is correct, 6
Yes.
o'clock. Okay, so if anyone from the public is interested, first, the legislative review I mentioned previously is with our 3 state legislators in the area who are going to review the legislative session that just finished. They've actually invited the public to be there as well. There's just they want you to register ahead of time. So if anybody's interested in that, let us know and we can help you get that information so you can attend that legislative review
If
along with
they're
us.
registering, does that mean we get cookies?
I don't know.
I guess I'll ask Norm.
Okay, I have no idea. And then the Easter basket auction too is a way for people to support our Provo School District Foundation. So if you're interested in supporting the foundation, let us know and we can get you information on that Easter basket auction. Okay, we have some exciting things coming up with our superintendent search. Our Citizens Committee will be reviewing applications Tuesday through Friday of next week, March 28th through 31st. We've got the District Battle of the Books on March 29th. We have our NSBA National Conference for the board members March 30th through April 3rd. We've got an AVID showcase at Dixon Middle School on the 30th. We have spring break coming up, April 3rd through 7th. We've got a PTA Executive Committee meeting on April 11th, PTA President's meeting on April 18th, and our next study session and business meeting for the board on April 18th. And then we've got a district elementary Battle of the Books on April 20th, a Golden Apple Dinner on the 20th as well, which is a great way to honor teachers in the district. And last but not least, our joint meeting with the City Council on Thursday, April 27th. And if anyone wonders why being a board member is a little bit exhausting, that is a good example. Okay, so anybody have questions on the calendar items?
I wonder if we need to add on April 27th also is the Utah High School Activity Association vote,
Oh,
just
that's
in
right.
case more than 3 of us are going to be there.
Oh,
I will definitely be there.
And I think we're okay if anybody wants to go to that one.
Yeah, that one I don't think we have to notice, right? That's like USBA
Yeah, that's
and
just like
NSBA.
USBA.
Okay.
But that would be good to have on our calendar to remind us about going.
Absolutely. Do you mind adding that, Bonnie? Okay, thank you so much.
Where again is that?
Where's the
It's at their offices in Murray? I think. Midvale?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At 3 o'clock.
Okay, very good. All right. Let's go ahead and move to our business items. We will start with business item number 1, consideration to approve the new policy 1110, having student representatives on our board. And Todd or Gina, would either of you like to give a quick summary on that?
I can. We would like to have students sit on our board, but not have a vote. And so basically what the students would do is really help us understand what the students would like to, so that they'll have input, they'll be able to come to meetings and tell us, they'll kind of be the liaison between the school board and the students. And so, but they are very aware that it's a non-voting position. And I feel that this is very valuable for the board, and I also think it's a very valuable experience for our students to be able to participate in the governance process. We plan to open applications once the policy and procedure are passed tonight, so the application should open tomorrow. The applications will be due by May 1st. We're going to do a really quick turnaround. We're going to look over the applications and then narrow it down to the applicant. So we will have 2, one from Timpview and one from Provo High. Independence High School may also participate in that. They will just participate in whatever boundary they live in, whether it's Timpview or whether it's Provo High. So the top candidates will then move to an interview process, and then after the interviews are done, then we plan to have them selected by May 15th, no later than May 15th. And then their terms will be from July 1st until June 30th of the following year. And then there's a bunch of, I won't go through all of that, but there's a bunch of expectations for the students. But as I've talked to different board members and I've talked to different students, I think that this is going to be a good program. If it turns out that this is a train wreck, it'll be my fault and I will take that, and then we'll just discontinue the program. But I don't think it will be a train wreck. I think it will it'll be a value add to the students, and I think it will be a value add to the board. And I also think for the district as a whole, being able to have, like, we've been in meetings and we're like, well, what's the student opinion on this? Well, I don't know. And so we'll have a board member there who will be able to do that. So anything you want to add? Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Gina, I will entertain a motion to approve.
I move that we approve policy 1110, student officers on the board as discussed in study session.
Okay, thank you. Motion made by Board Member Van Wagenen. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Hales. Let's see. Board Member Van Wagenen, you made the motion. You're welcome to start the comments or questions if there's any further discussion.
I don't have any questions or comments, but I myself am very excited about this, and thank you to Gina and Todd and the students for the work that you guys have done to make this possible and to get it to this point, because I know it's taken a lot of work and collaboration. So thank you, and I'm excited about this.
Any other discussion? Points? Okay. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes unanimously.
We will have this posted by 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon on the
Okay.
district website.
Great. We'll move to item number 2, consideration to approve the large purchase request of Panorama. And Derek, can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yep, so what you have before you is the annual agreement for Panorama. We're currently using this already, but the reason it's coming before the board is because we added some additional features to the product. And so we're asking you to essentially approve the contract for next year, so that way we continue with that service.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the large purchase request for Panorama software in the amount of $51,000 with any we didn't make any adjustments, as discussed in the study session.
Okay, thank you. Motion made by Board Member Hales. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Partridge. Board Member Hales, you may start the discussion if there's any further comments or questions.
I don't have a question. I think that there are some very valid concerns that I have heard come from parents in the district. And I hope that our discussion in the study session, I hope we were able to allay some of those fears. We don't mine the data. We don't use it for, and even within the school district, only the people who need to see the information see it. And there's it's only about school stuff, school climate, school academics. And so it's not asking, it's very different. The SHARP survey is a different thing, and I think sometimes people get those confused. I wish my daughter was in the year to take the SHARP survey. I'm a social worker, I like that too. But as far as the Panorama goes, I've heard things like it's a social and emotional learning program. It's not. It's information that helps the schools help the kids stay on track for graduation and make sure that they have everything that they need. And so that's all I have to say to that.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, perfect. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Item 3, consideration to approve a large purchase request with Wasatch Construction. Derek.
So what you have before your board is an update to the Wasatch project with currently there's a lot of site work and walls going on. There was a section of the wall that they held off in terms of having that approved in the as part of those bid packages, because they knew that there could be one way or the other depending on when they got into that construction piece. And so what they ended up doing was holding off on that last piece to figure out what the most cost-effective way to move forward with that would be. And so now with that being essentially figured out, that is the final piece of the site work and the walls that we're asking the board to approve. So.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the large purchase request for Wasatch Construction in the amount of $205,327 as discussed in study session.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Van Wagenen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Hall. Board Member Van Wagenen, you may start if you have any further discussion.
I don't have anything.
Anyone else? Okay, all in favor with aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed with nay? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Number 4, consideration to approve large purchase request with Cache Valley Electric, also Derek.
Excuse me. So what you have before you is the Cache Valley Electric invoice that we're asking the board to approve. This would be reimbursed by the E-rate, and that's kind of what this is the E-rate package that we're targeting. And so we'd be reimbursed by between 50 to 60% of this cost from the federal E-rate program, and this just helps us take our dollars further to install the infrastructure that are needed for our facilities. So.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the large purchase request for CVE switches in the amount of $220,788.50.
Thank you. Motion made by Board Member Boyce. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Hall. Board Member Boyce, you can start further discussion if there's any.
I'm just glad we're trying to find ways to make our dollars go further.
Anyone else? Okay. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed with nay? Okay, motion passes unanimously. All right. Item number 5, consideration to approve school fees, also with Derek.
All right, well, so what you have before you, board, is the items, excuse me, that we discussed in the study meeting with the updates to the fee schedules. And then there are the two that are attached here, which I apologize, I attached them here and not up above. But these are the ones that are attached here are the latest fee schedules for both high schools, okay? And so this is the most current. So what I would ask is that you approve the fee schedules as discussed in study session with these two as the replacements to the schedules attached in the study session document.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve school fees as discussed in study session.
Thank you. Motion made by Board Member Partridge.
I think do we need to add a little bit more to that, like for the year 2023, 24,
and also have these two be the ones that are adopted. So clarify stating that, and we're substituting these two schedules with the ones that were discussed in study session. So.
Because we already approved the other ones last month.
Okay.
I move that we approve the school fee schedule for the 2023/24 school year as discussed in study session and with the updated high school fee schedules as attached here.
Okay. Sounds wonderful. Great motion made by Board Member Partridge. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great motion.
I'll second.
Seconded by Board Member Hales. Board Member Partridge, you may start the further discussion if there's any.
I just want to put out in the business meeting something we talked about in the study session that well, first of all, I want to thank the efforts the schools have made over the last month or so to eliminate some curricular fees for our core classes. I really appreciate that, and that they're going to be continuing to work on what we can do to better align our fees and do what we can to bring some of the high fees down. So appreciate the work that has been done and will be done on that, and that this will be continuing to be something we discuss.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? And motion passes unanimously. Our last item of business tonight, consideration to approve the Jewel settlement. Derek.
Yeah, so what you have before you, board, is the settlement agreement from the class action lawsuit against Jewel. Legally, as part of the settlement agreement, we can't publicly disclose or talk about this agreement. Doesn't mean somebody can't grandma it, but we can't publicly discuss it. So to the public, it's going to appear as if I'm asking you just to approve this agreement and they're not going to know any details. We have had plenty of discussion. The board has had plenty of discussion, and that's what executive sessions are used for, right? There are certain discussions that need to be held for things like litigation. And so I'm asking the board to approve the Jewel settlement and allow me to sign this document, essentially finalizing that agreement.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we grant Derek Anderson, PCSD Business Administrator, the authority to sign the Jewel settlement document on behalf of the board as discussed in the closed executive session.
Thank you. Motion made by Board Member Hales. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Boyce. Board Member Hales, you may start. Any further discussion?
Anything.
Anyone else? Okay, great. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed with nay? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Oh, I said that was our last item to approve, and I was not correct. I apologize. We do have one last item to approve, which is approving the consent calendar. We just actually had our discussion, the rest of our discussion, so I don't feel like we need to say much about it.
So I move that we approve the items on the consent calendar.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Hall. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Van Wagenen. Any further discussion, Board Member Hall? Anyone else? Okay, all in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? With nay. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Now we'll move on to our board member report segment of the meeting tonight, and we'll turn our attention over to board member Jennifer Partridge. I should call you Vice President
Well, no,
Partridge.
Okay. All right, thank you. I just wanted to give some updates for the board members on the committee assignments I've been working on and some of the work we're doing there. So this last week, I attended the liaison committee meeting, and as I was getting ready to leave, the PESPA leadership, our support professionals, they made it a point to say thank you and wanted to thank the whole board for our support of them and all that they do. They apologize for not being present at every one of our meetings, but guaranteed that they are watching us right now. So hello and thank you for all that you do. So I want to make sure we passed on that message. I'm also on the policy committee. I just wanted to update, I think most of you know this, but we've set up our organization plan. That was our first step, is what is that committee going to look like? So we've determined that, and we will now be meeting the fourth Monday of each month to talk about policies, looking at upcoming new ones, as well as starting to go through existing ones, see if revisions need to be made. The committees committee, got an email from Gina about that yesterday, but just to put it out there publicly. We got good feedback from both board members and our council about some ideas on how we can better structure our committees in our district. But we determined that whatever we decide, we want it to work well with whatever style our new superintendent has, what they feel is going to work for them. And so we're going to just kind of put it on hold and wait until that person is in place and then move forward together with that person. Legislative committee, I'm super excited about this. I haven't recognized everybody else on my other committees, but Terry and Gina are part of that. Derek's on that, and we've got some of our council and our PEA leadership. And we met weekly during the legislative session, so that's a 6-week-long thing. During that time, we talked about bills, how they affect us, and then we worked to contact our legislators to let them know on ones we felt very strongly about one way or the other. And they've expressed appreciation for knowing. It helps them have an idea when they're voting. Now that the session is done, we're going to be meeting monthly, and we're starting by working on some thank you notes on behalf of the whole board to thank our legislators for the good legislation that was passed. We're also going to be reaching out to them to invite them into our schools to spend some time. In fact, we already have one legislator scheduled to go to a 6th grade classroom for half the day next week. Hoping to get more in the classrooms. And then also inviting them if they'd like to look over our budget and just kind of talk about logistics of how our district works and how policies affect us. We're also going to be working to determine any legislation that we want to propose that we can be working on over the interim, and then share with our legislators things that could help us be more effective in what we're trying to do in our district. And we've also got a couple interns that are helping us out with some of those logistics and those details. They helped us look up bills and really understand the bills, and then in the interim they're going to help us with some statistical analysis that we want to know that will help inform policy ideas and things like that. So, and then also related to legislative, my role on the USBA Board of Directors, we met every single week up in Salt Lake for 3 hours at a time, talking about all the bills, voting on all, not voting, but taking positions on many, many bills related to education. And I'm looking forward to this year working with the Board of Directors on ideas on how we can be even more effective as a body, especially in the interim, and maybe working with other education groups to have a cohesive front as we work with our legislators, especially related to the upcoming proposed change in the constitutional funding. of public education. So that's going to be an ongoing discussion that we're going to have. So, and that is my report.
Okay. Thank you, Board Member Partridge. I hope you're leaving some time to eat dinner with your family.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay, very good. All right, thank you so much. All right, Superintendent Rattel.
So I have just two quick items. One is I have approved 5 student travel requests. You can see them in the attachment. Board Member McCabe, in the study session, you asked about the timing of the student leadership retreat at Provo High School. That is noted on there. In theory, it should line up nicely with the announcement of the student reps. So we hope. We'll see how it goes. The other item is we received a commendatory letter from the State Board of Education office about our career technical program led by Director Clay Bingham, and lots of good work there. This is probably more of a compliance review than anything else, but it also speaks to the quality of the programs that are in our schools. So we thank our CTE teachers for their hard work, and Clay as well, and Juliana Marsh, his administrative assistant. That's all for my report.
Okay, thank you so much to everyone who's joined us tonight, and for this people who've stayed till the end. This is great. We don't usually get this. So thanks for being here with us, and for those watching online, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned.